Hello everyone, Kayla here, and this is What the Kink, a natural hair channel, and I am bringing you my Black Friday haul for 2023. First of all, let's have a talk about the vibe check. This year, the sale was back. The concept of the sale was back. I know that we've had the last couple of years where brands just really decreased the overall amount of sales that they did, and then they did like some cute but really modest sales during Black Friday. This year, a lot of sales were happening throughout the year. It would be because it's the brand owner's birthday, it's the brand's birthday, it's a major holiday that maybe we don't always have sales for, but we did this year. So because of the increase of sales that were 30 and 40 and 50% off, so decent sales, I actually have a smaller Black Friday haul than I have in the past because I did purchase in the season prior to this season. Okay, I didn't buy those things this time around because I don't need to. I've shopped recently and I haven't even used the products yet from the previous purchases. So there's that. But then I also found a very unique and different thing because we are used to the sales season being kind of long. I've said that probably in the last two videos. But for this one, it was difficult to tell what was the best deal or when the best sale was. There were sales where the Black Friday deal would come out and then they would extend that Black Friday deal all the way to Cyber Monday. Typically on Cyber Monday, they lower the deal. No, these brands were doing the same deal throughout the whole period. So you kind of had a while to take advantage of their Black Friday offering. And then there were situations where they had their Black Friday deal, which we normally would assume is their best sale or their best deal. But then they had a sale after Black Friday that was better than the Black Friday sale. Okay, so I actually am going to talk about a particular brand that did this because I did shop from them, but obviously saw the better deal, but was like, okay, what's the point at this point? Because I already have the product. I don't need to shop from you, even though your deal this time around is much better. So we'll get on that too. So all of that I said because it was just very unclear as to what was the best deal this time around. So let's actually get into my shopping. My shopping started before Black Friday, as is seeming to be the normal thing. And it was actually the Saturday before Black Friday. Ulta began their Black Friday sale on their website at night. And then the next morning on Sunday, they started the Black Friday sale in stores. And they had some pretty good deals. So what I picked up was the Curlsmith Bond Curl Rehab Salve. This is an 8-ounce product and usually retails for $30. So the deal that they had on this, let me see, I have my notes. This one was 40% off, which is oftentimes a better deal than you would get from Curlsmith themselves. And then on top of that, I usually do save my points and redeem them in like December or November or something like that. So I did redeem my points and I got an additional $11 off. So I usually don't tell people like the sticker price or how much I pay in the end because there are people on the internet who are not very nice with that kind of information. However, I will tell you that I paid $7.46 for a $30 product. I did not pay shipping because I did where you order online and purchase in store, and I walked into the store the next morning and picked it up. So the next round of sales took place on Monday. I did quite a few purchases on Monday. See, we're not even at Black Friday just yet, okay? So I purchased from Earth Tones, and they had been advertising their sale and saying what they were going to do, and they have a whole fact page. They do make sure that everyone's really informed about Black Friday before the sale. It's not a surprise thing like other brands do. So Earth Tones Naturals did 25% off. And I will say that that's roughly free shipping just because they are located in Canada. It does cost a little bit more for them to ship products here. So what I picked up was 2 of these Max Curl Enhancing Jellies. This is the larger, I think this is the largest size that they offer of these. And y'all, they changed the packaging. I was like, when I got it, I was like, oh, this is different. First of all, it's opaque. You can't see through it. And then it has this like a green up here and then like a tan here. It's kind of reminding me of the new packaging for AG, the AG Naturals, whatever line. It's kind of reminding me of that. I don't know if they were going for that, but yeah. So I picked up 2 of these, and it was basically free shipping. You might be like, that deal stinks, but honestly, for them, they don't do really high percentages off. The fact that they even did a Black Friday sale was great, because we are talking about a company that's not even based in this country. So also purchased on Monday, I picked up from Miss Jessie's a couple of products. The sale that they were running was a buy 2 get 1 free. Now, we had discussed in my Black Friday wish list video that typically Miss Jessie's, if they do a sale, it's 20% off. It's not that great. And I had hoped that maybe they would do a higher percentage off, because they did do, I think it was like 30% off for Memorial Day. So I'm like, this is a sign that they may do a higher percentage off. And I was right. So buy 2 get 1 free is actually, I actually did the exact number. That is 33% off. Okay, so that is 33% off. And a quick little trick for you guys, if you ever want to know how much each individual product is off, all you have to do is take the percentage that you're getting off. So if it's free, it's 100% off, 50% off, 30% off, and then divide it by the number of products you have to buy in order to get the deal. And that'll tell you how much percent off you're getting for the whole thing. So I took 100% because the product was free, divided by 3, and that gave me 33.33333333. So that is the deal. So what I did was I picked up 3 of these Jelly Soft Curls. I have learned of a combo that has Jelly Soft Curls over the top, and I was like, let me try that. This is a product that is easily accessible in like Target. So if this works, this combo works, then I would be able to like buy this on the ground whenever I wanted. So I definitely want to try it out. I know that in the past, in the natural community, we've complained about the price of Miss Jessie's, or not we, but you know what I mean, the collective we. But honestly, I feel like Miss Jessie's products really don't cost as much as some of these other brands do. I don't think they're really that expensive that people will be priced out of being able to purchase them. Now, let me get on Miss Jessie's. This is part of the I didn't know what the best deal was situation, okay? So after that, after their Black Friday, they eventually, and I don't remember exactly what day it was or when it was, but they did do a BOGO 75. So buy 1, get 1 75% off, okay? And that is 37.5% off, so almost 38% off. It's very little of a difference, so I wasn't terribly worried about the fact that I got a deal that was slightly less, because 33% off versus like 37.5% off, we're talking pennies. So the deal that I did miss out on, that I was like, oh girl, you got to be kidding me, is that I think I saw it yesterday, and I was offline for most of the day yesterday because I was at the curl party, but I saw yesterday that they had 50% off. You ain't got to buy 1 to get the 50% off. It's just 50% off. That is extremely high for Miss Jessie's. That is extremely good. I have not seen them do that level of deal in years. Okay, they used to, maybe 2-3 years back, they did do buy 1 get 1 deal, which is 50% off. But this, just 50% off, they haven't done that in at least 2 to 3 years. So that was an extremely good deal. Also, still purchasing on this Monday, I purchased from Scrunch It. Scrunch It was doing 20% off, and then they had a couple of other like items that were really, really discounted. It wasn't a percentage off, they just put the items at a lower price point. Scrunch It is a really small brand. They are located in the Orlando area. And I knew that they weren't going to do better than 20% off. So basically it was like free shipping, but the item itself doesn't really cost that much. So I'm not upset about what I got. So anyway, I picked up another Breathe Scrunch It. So this is the netted thing that you guys see me dry my hair with. It helps bring my ends up into the dryer, and I maybe do like 15 minutes like that and then take it down, and it makes sure that my ends dry. Also, Akia purchased one too, so you guys can see her use it in one of her videos, and she was like, I just dried my hair and it's dry. The ends are dry. Yes, girl, if your hair hangs outside of the dryer, this is that thing, okay? I wanted to buy another one because sometimes the original one gets coated in product and stuff, so I wanted to be able to just throw one of them in the wash and then put another one in the rotation. Now I'm noticing that my original Breathe, after a year's worth of use, is starting to look a little raggedy. It's still usable, it's not like damaged or anything, but I'm like, maybe I need to get a third one so I can eventually throw that original one away. Again, this is not a very expensive product. So I am not mad about it. And there is a salon, I think, that carries it. So maybe if I find that place and I'm in the Orlando area, which we are often there to eat, then I can like go just pick up another one whenever I want to. I've got my foot on Monday's neck and I am not letting up just yet. Okay, so anyway, still on that Monday, I purchased from Hairbrella, okay? Hairbrella is another one that did better deals after this, but again, this was my first time with Hairbrella. Typically with Black Friday, guys, I will follow the brand's social media. I will sign up for their email list or their text list or something like that, and kind of get used to like how they do their sales and stuff. But Hairbrella, I had not studied them long enough to really know what they do, but they were all over the place. It was confusing to even know they had deals on Instagram versus deals in the email versus, it was different stuff. Okay, so here's what I did. I picked up 2 Hairbrella swim caps, okay? Now, black, silver. One for me, one for Juan. Now, I purchased these together as a bundle because when you buy the bundle, it's $10 less. So before you even get a deal, it's $10 less. Then I used a Black Friday code that they had floating around the ether for 30% off. So that took the price tag down even further. All said and done, I think I basically paid about the price of one of these or close to a price of just one for 2. And I did need 2 for 2 natural hair people that want to be out in the water without getting their hair all wet. Okay, I finally had left Monday alone and we're actually on Black Friday. So the only Black Friday deal that I actually got up and shopped Black Friday at like early in the morning, and I didn't even get up. It was just, I shopped it before I went to bed because I was out of town with family and so I was still awake. So I did shop at EcoSlay, and I am going to talk about how due to a subscriber coming through, I actually bought less than that, and we'll get on that too. So I purchased for 40% off 2 Jello Shot. Okay, got 2 of these for 40% off, which is a great deal for them because their products are a little bit higher priced. And then you know the drill, or if you don't, I'm about to tell you, for EcoSlay, as it gets later in that day on Black Friday, so like if you went to sleep and you woke up, then it's just 30% off and you're not going to get the 40% off. So that's what I did. Now, Olivia, a subscriber. I actually have gotten products from Olivia before, so I'm not out here totally risking my hair life and stuff. Many years ago, she had some Hydra Curl Former and she was like, yeah, no. Yeah, no. I think she gave the bulk of them to someone else, like purchased them. The other person purchased them from her. So I think she had more than one, and I was like, let them get the bulk of it because, you know, whatever, and I'll just get one. So Olivia is back in action, and she had some of the EcoSlay, what's it called? Oh my goodness. I'm totally blanking on the name of the product. Oh, yes. Orange marmalade. So she had 2 orange marmalades and she had 1 Jello shot. I said, listen, I've got 1 Jello shot in here and then I was going to buy 2. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy that from her. I'll just still buy it from them. But she had exactly the amount of orange marmalades that I was going to buy. They're in the refrigerator right now because I believe they, like, at least one of them were open. So I just went ahead and refrigerated it. So I purchased 2 orange marmalades from her. What she was charging me for them was less than I would pay at the 40% off amount. And then I even paid for shipping and stuff like that too, and it still was way cheaper than the deal that I would have gotten from purchasing from EcoSlay. So I couldn't miss out on that. I don't regularly buy from subscribers, y'all. It's just that this one, there's more of a familiarity there, and I have gotten products from her before. So I did get those from a subscriber instead of purchasing from EcoSlay because the deal was way better. So also purchased on Black Friday, I was casually browsing the Sephora website. Now, I don't know, Sephora's Black Friday deals, I don't know if maybe because I'm not a Sephora girly, like I have an account, so I get the free shipping and all that kind of stuff, and I do accumulate a couple of points here and there. But their sale, sometimes it's not always clear what's included or what are the main highlights or stuff. Like Ulta does a really good job of having a page for all their sales that's really clear. Sephora has pages, but it just, they want you to download their app to get the preview, and I'm really more of a app resistant person. I will not download your app, okay? I will not download your app. I am horrible about that. But I was browsing their website. I think I went to the hair section and then I put on the filter for on sale. and then I might have put another filter or toggled it to something or whatever, and I went through and I saw Briogeo. Okay, so I picked up, and we'll let that hang out right there. I picked up the Briogeo Superfoods Avocado and Kiwi Mega Moisture Hair Mask. I have wanted to try this mask because it's cute, and also because I've heard people say that they like it. So this is the full-size product. I want to open it up so you guys can see it. It comes in a box, but little cardboard on there. Isn't this so cute? And then here's the front. Oh, it doesn't look, okay, it's in French and then it's in English. You can't see it anyway, but it is so cute. And I did not have deep conditioner on my list at all because I have switched to actually treating the deep conditioner more so like I treat my clarifying shampoo, and only using the product when I'm going to do the treatment. And I try to just do it monthly. That way I can not use deep conditioner the rest of the month. So because of that, I am obviously using a whole lot less deep conditioner. So I did not want to buy a bunch of deep conditioners because they're not going to be going very fast. And that's also what decreased the amount of stuff that I have for Black Friday too, because I used to buy quite a bit. You guys saw I would buy enough deep conditioners to be using it every week. And that's a bit of stuff. That also is a bit of money because deep conditioners tend to cost more. So I definitely, again, I don't like to get into prices and stuff because there's weird people on the internet, but I did spend less money for this Black Friday. Quite a bit. I don't want to say exactly how much less, but quite a bit less money. And I think the absence of deep conditioner did this. So anyway, you're like, girl, stop talking about that. Talk about the deal. So I noticed the price on the site, and they had the slashed out price next to it. And so I had to do the math myself to realize that this was 50% off. They did not call it out as 50% off. And I don't think I even saw this on their sale page for me to realize that it was on sale. So this is the Briogeo mask for 50% off. I was like, I had to get this. This was an excellent deal. And then of course, if you have a Sephora Insider account, the shipping is always free. Doesn't matter about holidays or anything, the shipping is always free. Much later on Black Friday, and they always do this, I was able to purchase from Obia. Obia releases their sale just after the fact from everybody else. I believe it was 40% off if I recall correctly. I didn't really put that in my notes, so I'm assuming maybe that's what it was. That's usually what they do. They're pretty reliable. They're going to have the same percentage off. They're going to have the sale, but they don't start their sale right at the beginning of Black Friday. It's probably like around lunch, almost dinner time when they do their sale. So I picked up 2 of the Curl Moisture Cream because when I do buns and stuff on my hair, guys, I don't actually put any like you know, some people put the foam or the styler on the back of the bun part, the loose hair. I do not do that. So I need to coat my hair. So I usually will use a curl cream. Also, if I do jumbo twist updos, I will use a curl cream. So anything where I'm not like trying to set my hair, curl cream. And so I purchased 2 of them because I didn't have enough curl cream to do those hairstyles this year. So now we have a really long story. We are off of Black Friday. We are now 2 days later on Sunday. Okay. Yeah, we're on Sunday. Okay. So this is after Black Friday, and I purchased from As I Am, and I purchased from their actual website. Now, most people will be like, what do you like? What's the story here? Okay. So first of all, I had a really hard time determining what the sales were for As I Am. I told you guys earlier, I usually will follow a brand in different ways, trying to learn more about them or to learn about the sales. Now, As I Am does not post their stuff to everything, because a lot of these people, if you subscribe to their email list, you don't need to be on their text list. If you're on their text list and their email, you don't need to be on their social media. They often will post the same things everywhere, so you don't need to be on everything. With As I Am, I 100% would encourage you, if you're trying to buy from them, to be on their email list, because they do not post their Black Friday sale or even talk about Black Friday on their social media. And I checked multiple social media platforms. They don't post anything. This year, they didn't even put a banner on their website, okay? So the only reason that I found out about it, because I wasn't on the email list, I follow them on Instagram, okay? This is where I messed up. I follow them on Instagram. I didn't really mess up. I still made the purchase. So what they did, I'm assuming, is sent a code out through their email list. And I found out because there was a like coupon code website. And on the coupon code website, it had a Black Friday code. I'll tell you what it is now because I remember it. It was BFCM23. And I remember that because a year ago, around the same time, there was another code that was BFCM22. So they probably do a variation of the same code every year, and it is for 20% off. And you might be like, girl, 20% off? That is not a deal. And I think because of that, because they don't really advertise their code, and because their code is probably not that much off, at least this year and last year it wasn't, I think that's why usually when you see As I Am in Black Friday videos, the people usually purchase it at Sally Beauty. This year, Sally Beauty excluded As I Am from all the sales they had. There was not a deal that I saw. The $10 off of 30, or was it, $10 off of 40, the $15 off of 40, the 40% off textured hair care, they weren't included in any of them. So the only place you were going to get a deal is from them directly. Now, Kayla, 20% off is not a deal. Let me tell you why it was. So what I picked up were 2 of these classic curling jelly. If you check the ingredients, it has similar ingredients to a lot of what people would consider a base gel, high in humectants. Got a couple of, I think I have a couple of emollients listed in there as well. Let me see. Maybe not this one, but it's humectant crazy. Okay. So it has similar ingredients to a lot of these botanical gels that the people are using. So I picked up 2 because I want to try this out, because if I liked it, again, just like the Miss Jessie's, this is something that's available at Sally Beauty. You can just buy this in person. There's a couple other places also that sell As I Am products, and again, I could just buy it in person. Now, let me tell you where the deal comes into play. If I had purchased those gels at full price on the As I Am website versus Sally Beauty, each gel is $4 cheaper than what they are charging at Sally Beauty. So all in all, just by paying full price, no sale, directly from As I Am, I would have been spending $8 less. Also, the items at full price make their shipping threshold, which is actually pretty low. I don't know if they lowered it for the holidays or if it's always that low. I'll have to investigate, but the shipping threshold is just $35. So those 2 items made the threshold. So at full price, we're paying $8 less and we're getting it shipped for free. So it definitely puts on the same playing field as walking into a Sally Beauty store. At that rate, why would you even buy from Sally Beauty, right? Well, take it up a notch, then the 20% off, okay? So the 20% off took an additional $7 off. Now, even though these products made the shipping threshold, it was barely. So I was a little nervous about losing my free shipping. So I said, okay, I'm gonna put it on here. If I lose the free shipping or the shipping, the cost of the shipping like negates my deal, whatever, I'm gonna take this coupon code off of here and I'm just gonna buy it full price because I'm already saving $8. Well, for some reason, even with the code, I got to retain the free shipping, okay? So at this point, if you've done the math, y'all, I am spending $15 less than these 2 products would have cost me to purchase at Sally Beauty, and I'm getting free shipping. And that, my friends, is why I purchased it from As I Am. And I purchased it on this Sunday because I was holding out. I was waiting for a deal at Sally Beauty to come through. That 40% off deal I think was supposed to happen on that Sunday. Saw As I Am was excluded. Knew about the code anyway. I knew about the code on Black Friday. I knew about the code. And I went ahead and just put the code in and did it through them because I was saving a lot more money to purchase it that way. And I realized that there was a sale that I did that I didn't screenshot because I didn't purchase online. So before I do that, speaking of Sally Beauty did have a deal that I think was before Black Friday, and it was in which they had $15 off of 40. So that's a pretty decent percentage off. I think it's like what, a little over 30% off, and then you're not paying shipping because you're walking into a store. So what I did was I purchased right up to the $40, and so that is 2 Kinky Curly leave-ins and a single custard. So I know that I don't have enough leave-in and custard to do all the little combo mixing and matching that I need to do this year. And I was holding out because I thought maybe that 40% off of Textured Hair Care might apply to these as well. It didn't. So this is all that I got from them. They did there was $10 off of 40. I was like, that's not as good of a deal. Then they did the 15, and then I think they may have done the $10 off of 40 again. And then this didn't go down to 40%. So the Kinky Curly was getting included in stuff, even though As I Am was not getting included in stuff. So Sally Beauty just really, for me, this year was underwhelming. They really didn't have sales on the things that I would have bought from them, or things that have previously been included were not included. And so Sally Beauty is a lot of people's backup for Black Friday. Maybe they will do some of their later in the December deals. Sometimes they do have some of those that are pretty good. But as far as the pre-holiday, pre-whatever stuff, it really did not deliver this year. Okay, and so this one falls into the same category as that Briogeo as being a unexpected purchase. But Ulta's been winning Black Friday. They had some really great deals. I didn't even, like, y'all saw I didn't buy that much because I had my list and stuff wasn't on my list, but I can just say in general, Ulta threw down for Black Friday. Well, Monday, so this is the Monday after Black Friday, they release a Cyber Monday sale, right? So I decided to go scroll it or whatever because some people had said some brands that were included, and I was like, I gotta see this to believe this, right? So they had included Curl Mix, because if you don't know, some select Curl Mix products are sold at Ulta now. And so Curl Mix was included. It was 30% off of the brand, okay? And then on top of that, there was a $10 off of $50 coupon that did apply even to Prestige. So I got the 30% off, and then I also got the additional $10 off. My original purchase was under $50, but I bumped it up just because I did want to get their foam and try that too. So here's what I got. I picked up the, this is the heavy hold. So this is the second to last strongest hold. I don't think they offer the strongest hold in Ulta stores. I think you have to buy that online. And the strongest one just really wasn't speaking to me for some reason. So I've got the moisturizer. So that's a 3. And then I have the flaxseed gel. And then I've got their foam, which is like intended to be like a finishing type product. And so this is the Wash and Go finishing mousse. So I have that as well. And this is what bumped it up just a little bit to that $50. And then I got the $10 off. And the foam, like, I was basically like getting the foam for pretty cheap if you want to look at it that way. But definitely want to get it anyway. It wasn't just I typically am not a spend more to get something person, but I did already want this product. Okay, and then it wasn't a Black Friday purchase, but I did purchase it yesterday. And it's a hair product. I was at the curl party. I met Abena in real life. The hair is just as amazing as you think it is, if not more. But anyway, she was there. She had her full display of her Imba Naturals product. I got to meet half the people at the curl party. No, over half the people at the curl party had Imba Naturals in their hair. I have Imba Naturals in my hair, okay? Actually, everything that's in my hair can be seen over here. There's Imba, Kinky Curly leave-in, and Kinky Curly Custard is what is in my hair. And I just bought re-ups, obviously. So here's what I bought at the curl party. Evil cackle. Okay, look, Abena was like, are you starting a salon? Look, I might be, but no. The idea here is I like this big pump, my other gel that I use in the same way that I use this currently. It had a pump like this. So my idea is to be able to do the big pump and then like not section my hair as small, like bigger portions of hair, and then to be able to go in and like just do this kind of where you hold it and you just like swat like this. I'm sometimes able to get away with that with my hair, so I'm hoping to be able to do really big sections, like gross sections, and be able to use this pump and get a nice healthy pump and not be like and then on top of that, y'all know I like to buy in bulk. I do not like to repeatedly make purchases. Not that you use Imba Naturals that much. I will tell you that. First of all, listen, some people watch my video and like, listen, please guys, understand. currently my hair is waist length, okay? Prior to that, it was approaching the hip, okay? Got the videos that show you that, all right? My hair is very long and my hair is very, very dense. I'm not sure if the camera just may not be conveying that. I am using way more Imba Naturals than you will probably use, okay? I've seen Abena do 1 to 2 pumps and do someone's whole head, okay? I am using way more Imba than you, and even I thought it was 2 months worth of use for a bottle. Not consecutive use for me, but just like how, you know, I'm just counting each time I use it and like putting it together as a month. Y'all, I've used it, let's see, 8, 9 times, I want to say, and there's still a little bit of product sitting there. Like I could do my hair again, maybe 2 more times with the amount that's sitting in there. So it's looking like 2.5 months worth of use for me, but I am using an amount that is way more than what y'all are going to use. So you can get a smaller bottle of Imba Naturals and you're gonna get, maybe you get 4 months out of that one bottle, okay? So I am using way more than you. I'm gonna say it one more time. I am using way more than you, okay? So I am going to use this. My idea is to be using this for like a year or something and not have to buy another one. I also want to try to get my husband to use this. Abena was like, you should get him to do one and done and you should film it. So I'm going to try to get that going with him, but I'll feel more comfortable using that product, and he probably won't need but 1 to 2 pumps for his whole head. 1 pump I'm feeling strongly, but I feel comfortable sharing my product because it is a larger amount of product. We know per ounce it's cheaper to have a larger product, and y'all know I ain't pay no shipping because I got it from Abena's hand herself. She came to Florida and I got the product from her, so there's no shipping costs associated with it. So anyways, I mean, I know it seems weird that we're all up on here waxing lyrical about the product, but I think it speaks volumes that we were at an event where people could do their hair however they wanted to do it, and people had this product in their hair. Like almost the entire room had the product in their hair. Come on, somebody. That says a whole lot about this product. I know you guys love Black Friday and you love hauls. You want to see a bigger haul? Watch my haul from last year. It was bigger than this one. And then I did a video that was the wish list, so you can compare what I got versus what I said that I wanted in this video. Subscribe. I post videos every week, and I'll talk to you in the next one.